Here's my note cards. Okay. It is important that we talk to our kids about huffing chemicals, whether it be inhaling rubber cement, huffing spray paint, paint thinner, or even correction fluid. These quick highs can have long-lasting, devastating effects that cannot be corrected. It might be fun for a minute for these kids, but the long-term effects will in fact affect us all. Let me tell you a little story. My friends and I, when we were younger, would take baggies and fill them with rubber cement. We would go hide under the bushes and breathe in and out into these bags. The instant we did this, we started feeling as if we were floating. We would all get an extreme rush, and we had no control over ourselves. We were drugged up. Boy, we thought we had fun. Well, we became addicted. Once in a while, I would hear about the dangers of inhalants, but I continued to ignore them. I wouldn't be affected at all. My friends and I kept having our fun for a few more months until one day, one of our friends had to go to the hospital. Long story short, he became brain damaged. His life was taken from him as a result of having a little fun. We all learn the hard way. So you're probably asking yourself by now, what exactly are the risks of inhalant abuse? Research by the Mayo Clinic reports that the initial euphoria of huffing can be followed by dizziness, slurred speech, and loss of coordination, inhibition, and control. The inhalant can cause the heart to work too hard, causing an irregular heartbeat, and can trigger heart failure. This can happen the very first time a kid huffs. Chronic inhalant abuse can lead to liver and kidney damage, and coordination problems are also a huge risk. Other devastating effects might include suffocation, seizures, and death. If you follow up with Narconon, it will tell you about signs and symptoms to look for in your child that you might suspect be at risk. They might have a drunken appearance, their speech will be slurred, and they will be disoriented. They may get nauseated and will not be interested in eating. Their pupils will be widely dilated. A person high on inhalants is likely to suffer exhaustion, be completely tired all the time. They will have a hard time focusing on things. Additionally, their judgment might be impaired and their inhibitions lowered. This may lead your child to engage in irresponsible or dangerous activity. The Claremont Sheriff's Department states that substance abuse of this nature not only is extremely dangerous, but it will lead to other drug use. It is imperative to educate kids early about the dangers of inhalants. Start talking to kids early, even as early as 6 years old. Teach them to think of toxic household products as poison. Emphasize the body's need for oxygen. Explain to your kids how many items produce gas or fumes that can make you sick. When kids enter middle school, talk with them about how people abuse household inhalants. Explain these products as dangerous as drugs and alcohol, because they are. Focus on the risks and avoid mentioning specific items so the kids don't get any ideas. A lot of parents will deny that inhalants could be a problem in in their families, schools, or communities, the truth is it's not true. Youth often use on school property or even in the classroom. One way you can spot this is a youth who paints their fingernails with whiteout, then sniffs their fingers all day. They may also soak their sleeve in solvent and sniff away. Peers and educators alike need to get involved and be keen to this type of activity. Children do a very good job at hiding things, and if you notice your child or even a child you are suspecting that is not acting right, be suspect as to the reason. As I discussed earlier, inhalants can have a devastating result when teens who truly don't know their risks get their hands on them. They can suffer seizures, a heart attack, kidney failure, and even death. Watch out for signs like white fingernails and wet sleeves. If they aren't acting right, communicate with them to find out why. Early education is the key. Our kids need the education to steer them clear of peer pressure. I can start with a short conversation as early as 6 years old with my kids, and I did. And in the long run, it did make a difference, and it can make all the difference in the world with your kids too. Thank you.